Hi, my name is Sean Shaler. That's my friend Chris Ford, aka The Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter semi-fame, and we are broadcasting today in style. Wait, no, the other one. In comfort, not in style. Well, you know what? It's fine. We look comfy.
Style and comfort. Those were the hallmark shoes of Payless. Style and comfort.
I just always think casual when I think of Payless. I mean, that is styling. That's the crossroads is casuals. But I don't know why. We were just talking about this. I don't know why more people don't podcast like this. So if we listen to this or other people listen to this and say, you guys sounded horrible, I guess we'll know. But at this time, I notice no difference whatsoever in our recording audio, and I feel great.
Yes, well, I'm in a recliner because I'm in the middle of getting my house ready to sell. And so I took down like 99% of all my collectibles and stuff. And my shelves are still up, but there's really nothing on the shelves. And I just happen to have this recliner down here and saw you in the recliner. And I thought maybe I should sit in my recliner as well. Have a very reclined podcast episode because I do love this recliner. I got it from Big Lots. I think it was maybe $200.
Is it Ashley Furniture?
I don't know.
Oh.
It's just maybe.
I do think it's not ironic. I know I overuse that word and I don't use it right, but it's a weird coincidence that I like go through all the trouble of like I have nerd shelves behind me finally, and then you move to a recliner with a blank wall.
Yeah.
The first time, one of these times, our shelves will be in the same podcast at the same time, and all the audio listeners will be like, "I bet that's nice." It's a small percentage. The majority of our listeners absolutely still are coming through YouTube, but there's like 10 people out there that would be like, I'm so happy for them.
I will probably have a bear set up for the next month and a half.
And
Probably next month, because right when I move in, I'll probably be like, all right, priority number one, get my collectibles back up.
Children? Nah.
Nah.
Collectibles. They don't need rooms. They can sleep on the floor. They're kids.
Painting rooms and you repaint it? Nah. Get the collectibles up.
Kids can sleep anywhere, trust me. But you don't have to trust me. I don't have kids. You have kids, you know.
They go to sleep on the stairs sometimes.
I thought you were joking, and now I realize you're not joking. Kids actually fall asleep on stairs. My stairs were, when I was growing up, it's an old house, so they're like attic stairs. And you know how attic stairs are like steeper and narrower than regular stairs? So I could not have fallen asleep on those stairs. It would have been ergonomically just terrible and probably unsafe. But I want to segue off that, too, to say that we don't really have a schedule for the next coming weeks, but we know that we're dealing with holidays and moves, and we'll do the best we can. I feel comfortable saying that one or the other of us will get something up every week. It may not be totally normal, but something. I feel like if I don't put something out there for a full week, people will just leave, be like, nah, I'm done.
They had their week.
They broke the habit. It builds so much longer to build a habit than it takes to break it. So
that's true. And what is it? Like 14 days to build a habit or something like that?
I was thinking it was like 30 days.
You might, yeah, I don't know if it's that long.
It takes a long time to build a habit, but if you skip our podcast 1 week and then it's the holidays and then you get busy and stuff too, right? I say you, not you specifically, Chris, but you as in the listeners. And you skip it 1 week and then holidays come up and then pretty soon it's January and you're like, I don't need those guys in my life. And that would hurt me. That would cut me more than you know. So we will put, one or the other of us will put something ATLP related up every week. It just may not look that normal. So, yeah, that's my segue. I hope your move's going well.
Yeah, my house isn't on the market yet, but it will soon. And then once it all gets straightened out, it will probably be stressful time. But I handle stress pretty well because I won't feel like stress relative to other people's stress.
I am stressed when other people are stressed. It doesn't even matter what's going on in my life. It's like my stress is directly related to everything around me. Everyone around me. Maybe that's normal, though. But, yeah, well, eventually you'll be moved. You have hopefully a nice, awesome nerd space, and we'll both have shelves, and we'll look really official, and it'll be great.
I look forward to that.
I do too. I look forward to Nerd Cave and then COVID kind of going away so that we can do this Batman trilogy that I promised without your supervision.
Yes.
I
Also, so
figured you'd never argue.
I just watched the last episode that I was not on. Real quick, you said Bolin was funnier than Sokka. That was the one thing you said that I thought was interesting. I'm going to vehemently disagree with that because
Sokka
sometimes I feel,
tries really hard to be funny. Bolin is
oh,
sort
I
of
feel like,
more unintentionally funny, but he is funnier in my heart.
okay, so there might be an interesting dichotomy here. I think the writers of Bolin try really hard for Bolin to be funny, and maybe Bolin doesn't seem to try that hard. While Sokka, to me, the writing is is uh is so good. It just came so natural. And Sokka does try a little harder to be funny, but to me, it works better. Also, Bolin to me is more annoying sometimes. Maybe that funniness gets in the way, and like especially during season two, which we'll get to season two, because season two has a couple of different issues. So one of my biggest issues with it is that I feel like some characters the writing of their characters are sort of betrayed. Like Bolin doesn't have Mako's back, but he kind of like laughs it off and makes jokes and stuff and goes off and does this mover thing, which that makes his comedy less funny to me because it comes in direct contrast to him and that brother relationship he has with Mako. But
My
I'm taking Sokka all day when it comes to funny against Bolin.
I have a hard time arguing with that because I don't remember season two well enough. But as I have now watched through all of season one again, and Bolin makes me laugh so I want to say like unconsciously for him, like he's not doing it with bad puns or terrible pickup lines or even like the chauvinism comedy is still funny. I laugh at
Yeah,
it, but it's
I
kind of
will.
like it's like low hanging fruit as far as comedy goes in my books. So thankfully, Sokka grows out of that over time. But Bolin's it just makes me do it even if it doesn't mean to.
Yeah, I will say this: the voice actor for Bolin, PJ Bryan, I think is his name. Um, he is a much more comedic person, and honestly, a lot of Brian Konietzko has said plenty of times that his favorite. Like he loves all the voice actors equally. You know how the typical parent answer,
Yeah, yeah.
but he says
I
like he
mean, it's a
loves
lie, but
he. So he enjoyed working with PJ Bryan the most because he would like improv a lot of different lines, and like whenever he would write lines he would just always have PJ in mind, and I'm pretty sure he didn't get that same sense when with Jack Desana, the voice actor for Sokka. He doesn't seem as naturally funny as the voice actor for Bolin, PJ Bryan.
that's fair. It'll be interesting to revisit after we get through all these seasons and get to like factor in character growth and stuff. Because I think Sokka maybe over time gets more organically funny, even if it's fewer and farther between. But like I said, you get away from kind of the low hanging fruit, bad pun, chauvinism comedy and into little bit better stuff over time. So we'll weigh character growth and progression. What was the other? I said the other thing I was kind of proud of, and I don't remember what it was. Let me think. Let me think. Let me think.
I believe you said that something about Legend of Korra. Oh, you said Legend of Korra. Some of the backlash against it, I'm paraphrasing you here, might be because it's too real and people don't like to see their real issues kind of put up, I guess, in their face. Some of that
Yeah,
sense,
yeah. I
which
think
I
that's
don't
it. And
disagree inherently with that. So,
well, even me too, and I didn't figure it, but even me too has sit to think of myself like if there's reasons that I would watch the first over the second right now, just based on what I've seen and remember. I was gonna say some of it is like, hey, these issues are like real, and I already like read scary news and stuff every day. I would rather not deal with that.
yeah.
But it that's probably part of its unfair treatment sometimes, as people maybe holding that against the show, and it maybe shouldn't be. Yeah, I vaguely remember having that conversation out loud with myself. It got crazy in here last week. But that was last week. This is this week. It's a new week. And this week, we're bringing you When Extremes Meet. Speaking of real issues, this is book one, aired chapter 8 of Legend of Korra. It's called When Extremes Meet. And just like a real recap, because it's been a few weeks since we've had a normal episode, at the end of the last episode was called The Aftermath. And was at the end of that one where Asami found out that her dad was working for the Equalists, and then she like put on the glove at the very end and zapped him, and it was a huge dramatic turning point. And so this is
I feel like I watched that 8 weeks ago.
It does feel like a long time. But yeah, we're back with When Extremes Meet. But I guess, I was very rude of me. I just like jumped in the episode and I didn't even ask you like how your day was or your week was or anything. Chris, what else would you like to talk about before I rudely guide the conversation?
I've just been working on the house, stuff like that. I can't wait to get back into doing more videos. Probably a while before that happens. One of my videos got shared on, like a clip of it got shared on Twitter. Fran from Healthy Dose of Fran YouTube channel. She saw the tweet. She was like, "A bitch of geek, is this you?" And I watched the video, and it was the clip of Mike and Brian saying who to win versus Korra and Asami. Well, not Korra and Asami. They both win in that case. Between Korra and Aang.
That's great.
Yeah, it was the clip that I pulled from someone else's Comic-Con recording that they did. No, it wasn't a Comic-Con recording. It was a recording of a book signing at Barnes and Noble. And then my voice at the end there. It had like 1,000 views on this one thing because the person was just like, "For those who need to know, here's the clip. Mike and Brian saying it. Here's the receipts." And then, hearing my voice on, I was like, "Oh yeah, I forget that I used to make a lot of videos fairly frequently." But can't wait to get back to that.
Your 5,000 followers just sitting and waiting. Almost 6 now, I think. I'm just guessing.
Yeah. No, it's almost, it's like 5,700, I think. So
just sitting out there waiting their turn. Not their turn, I guess, waiting for more videos. But I mean, we got to be honest too. Like moving in holidays, but then New Year, nothing happens in January. That's good. Maybe basketball will be started up by then. It sounds like. But like nothing good really happens in January. So it'll be lots of free time. Hopefully it'll be cozy, and you'll have the opportunity to get back into like a video making rhythm.
I think so. Yeah, 2021.
It's already turning up. Listen, I know things aren't perfect, but 2021, it's on the upswing already. I just one real last quick plug. It's probably too late, but if you are watching this like immediately after it gets posted, or the audio only version that goes up on Fridays after we record usually, tomorrow, Saturday, November 14th, is my fundraiser day. And so we'll start from 9 a.m. tomorrow till 9 a.m. Sunday. I will be doing nothing but sitting around and drinking soda and beer and eating snack food and being a horrible human, but also playing video games. But what happened was that I raised, at this point, I'm at like $1,220 raised
Holy
for
crap,
Harvesters.
Sean.
I know.
You raised a lot since the video last week said you raised 600. So one thing, I'm kind of mad because I feel like the $40 I put, I was like, oh yeah, this guarantees me that I'm going to win something. Now it's no guarantee.
If you don't mind, send me a receipt because I do not think I saw your donation. So ironically, maybe I'm using it right. Right now, you can't win anything because you don't have tickets. Show me your receipt.
You saw my receipt. It's on Venmo. Because you then posted something on Facebook. Yeah.
You're right. My bad. I'll double check that you got tickets tonight. I panicked. No, last week I shared I was at like 600 or 700, but then I've been posting more prizes, and I put together like a big article, like I finally finalized details. Got a few other very fortunate shares, and some total strangers donated. I thought that was pretty cool. Like just people I have zero connection with whatsoever, so that was pretty neat.
That's great.
Yeah, so Harvesters, it's really good. Look it up. I'll put more details in the description, but tomorrow's a big day, and I'm very excited.
Yes.
Chris,
for anyone who don't know, Harvesters provides food to those in needy, and a couple other services. Yeah, I've volunteered for Harvesters several years. So Sean. Sean's done, I think, a couple other things for him as well.
We got to do some day of service days back in the day when we worked at Payless. They would let us go to Harvesters on MLK Day. And here it's super duper far away, so I haven't gone here, and I'm kind of ashamed. But there's one in Topeka, one in Kansas City. I presume most major American cities have one, and obviously there's a huge need for it right now. So yeah,
I
great
feel like the
organization.
Midwest, I think it's mostly a Midwest thing.
Okay.
But hey, still donate some money to it.
Huge need right now.
Yeah.
I did make the mistake of, I apologize if I already told you this story. I may have, but I was talking to somebody and he's like, "Oh yeah, what's Harvesters?" Like, I get the idea from the name, but give me some details. And I was like, "Well, it maybe kind of specializes in hungry families." When I helped, we did like a lot of like backpacks for kids after school and things
Yep.
like that. And he's like, "Yeah, it sounds like a great cause." It's like, "It is. I hate starving children." What I meant to say was, I hate to see children starving. I do not hate the children themselves, but it came out wrong. I hate starving children. I only like well-nourished ones. Uh, Fun anecdote. But hey, that's tomorrow. I'll post lots of details, and then at some point, Chris and I, if we can coordinate and make it work, we are gonna live stream, or at least attempt to live stream, some Smash Bros onto our Facebook page. So if you're one of like the 10 people that gets notifications for that, it'll pop up when it happens. It'll be very exciting.
Yeah. So live stream, correct me if I'm wrong, Sean, it won't be on my channel, but it'll just be through Facebook.
It'll just be through the Facebook page. I might record
Okay.
it separately, and then I can give it to you to offer to put it on your YouTube channel for you. If it records right and everything, like I can stream it and record it separately, and then I can put it up on the channel. If you just want generic gameplay up on your channel, I can say from experience, most people don't really watch just generic gameplays on YouTube, but it can go
Yeah.
up there. But the whole live stream, actually, the whole day is technically running through the Last Podcaster's channel because it really wanted to be
Yes.
associated. The live video wanted to be associated with a page, not an event, which I have an event set up. So
I'm gonna
it's actually,
contact Brian Konietzko, see if he can sponsor us.
that would be fantastic. He could like the tweet and then not do anything else, and I'd still be really happy.
He's not on Twitter. He's just on
Well, then I'd be
Instagram.
especially happy. He'd go out of his way to get Twitter just to like that tweet. It'd be impressive. Very excited, but not as excited as I am to talk about this. Well, that's not true. I'm way more excited for tomorrow. But this is a great episode, and I don't want to sell it short. And I'm really excited to talk about this episode. Chris, you want to walk us through when extremes meet?
Oh, right. First of all, we start off. I know it's not on your notes here. First off, we start off. Mako, Bolin, and Asami go to Air Temple Island, and Milo has some pretty comedic moments here, especially with him. Like he sees Asami, he's like, "You're pretty. Can I have your hair?" And it's it's weird, Milo.
Like he's got his
Um,
hand out and everything's kind of.
Yes, and I feel like he does a grabbing motion, which is even
He definitely
weirder.
does. Yeah. Later, he farts on people, so it's a big Milo episode.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
Weird that they made a canon that you can airbend farts, but
It makes sense.
does he
Makes
get
sense to me.
airbending tattoos for that?
It's probably already been
No.
invented. If I know
Probably.
nomads like I know air nomads,
True.
I bet it's been done
They-
before.
It's been done before.
You get a bunch of grown guys stuck in a temple together with like no women around. You know they had contests to see who could shoot themselves higher up in the air with a fart.
Yeah. Milo like one day goes to his dad, "Dad, I want my airbending tattoos," and then Tenzin just like, "No, you don't, son."
Tenzin just rockets into the air. You wish, kid. Dad used to pull that one on me all the time.
Yeah.
Pull my
Another moment.
finger. Sorry, I'm done.
Another moment I like is Janora, both Janora like being the one show them around, and the Janora Bolin interaction I think was really good. Just him asking questions really fast and her answering them really fast.
Is it all vegan island? Something, 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 something,
Yeah.
something, something. How
Is
many
it-
trees?
Yeah, is it all vegan island? Do we all get sky bison? How many trees are there? And a lot of other stuff.
Yes,
and
yes,
Jan-
no, no.
I'm sorry, not Janora,
1,500.
Icky, not
yeah.
Janora. Yeah.
I do have a
Oh,
way
yeah.
harder time
Oh, yeah,
remembering
Sean.
Icky's name for some
We
reason.
also made a mistake in some of our last videos. A lot of people got on to us about the whole like West and Eastern Air Temple, which one it was when we were talking about what happened didn't uh if Aang wasn't frozen in ice. And also Shu is not the plant bender's name, it's actually Hugh, but we make little mistakes here
I'll take the
and there every now and then.
I'll take the blame for having a washed out map with no titles on it. I'll take the blame for that. But you know what? The temples are not like in the four cardinal directions. It should be like the northeast temple and the northwest
No,
temple.
you're true. The northern air temple is very west.
It is not north at all, but it is. I get it. So, but no, I'll take the blame because I just use the map that we use as our background, and you can't see anything. My bad. Yeah, my bad.
All right, but anyway, so another point that I cracked up laughing every single time. Ikki is showing Asami and Korra to Asami's room, and Ikki out of nowhere is just like, Asami, do you know that Korra likes Mako? and and Korra does that whole like dramatic lightning in the background.
This episode had a
Very
few anime, yeah, like straight. So Milo being kind of goofy, and then these interactions between Ikki and Korra, because later Ikki's response when she gets rocked out of the room is very
Yes.
anime, and
And
the
her
fart
eyes
thing,
glow. It's like Ikki's crazy.
and it's a little. I want to say it's a little out of place, but it's very funny. Or at least it caught me off guard, and I laughed really hard.
It's a very interesting difference. This episode opens up way different than it ends.
It does. Oh my gosh, yes, it takes a sharp turn.
It starts off with farts and sort of fourth wall breaking type of things.
A little bit.
But yeah. Which I do like how Sami reacted to that. That she wasn't like, "Oh, how dare you, come up against my man." She was she was pretty reasonable. I like it when characters act reasonable, and yet there's still some drama. Mm.
I think all the weirdness made my wife and I started watching Scrubs, which I maintain I've probably seen most of Scrubs throughout the years, but we did finally start watching it. And
Oh,
some of the,
nice.
like the weird icky animation and stuff is like it was so there and then gone and fast. I was like, that's like a Scrubs thing right there.
Yeah. All right, so back to the episode. So, Chief Saikon taking over for Lin Beifong because she's like, I gotta take the law into my own hands, and so she retired from the police force. But that means Councilman Tarlock has been given like far more power, and he's he has the police chief under his thumb essentially, and he's pretty much working straight for him, answering straight to him, not even the other council members, which makes Tarlock even more of a threat. And and Tarlock and Korra has this conversation beforehand where she's like, "I know you're up to something," and he's like, "Hey, you can be on my task force, whatever." She's like, "I'm not gonna be on your task force." She's like, "I don't need you. I'm the Avatar, remember?" He's like, "No, you're not." One thing, that's a weird statement. Like, no, you're not the Avatar. She is the Avatar.
Very literally.
Yes. I mean, he's half right. He's like, you're a half-baked Avatar, which
That's still an Avatar.
she's still the Avatar.
I would eat a half-baked cookie.
Or at best, she's 3/4. Although if she doesn't master the Avatar state, that's also like a sixth sense. Anyway,
I'm going to say she's at least 51% Avatar, which in my mind makes her all Avatar. At least greater than equal to 51%.
She's all Avatar no matter what. Just to what degree is she to being a fully realized Avatar? I would say she is. I mean, so if you say 100%, 20% is like each element plus the Avatar state. She is 60% Avatar.
If it was a pie, you would want the slice of pie that says that Korra is definitely Avatar more than you'd want the slice of pie that says she's not.
Yeah.
It's definitive. I'm also really hungry right now.
And so that's sort of weighing on Korra because she's like, man, I like some of the emotions she has. I like seeing characters be dynamic and question themselves even a little bit. Like she goes to the like this cliff and she's like crying, and then Mako, Bolin, and Asami like cheer her up. They're like, "Hey, Aang, you're come on." Aang had to learn how to do it, and he was a kid, and he wasn't alone. He had his friends with him, which everyone needs to remember that. Not everyone. Sometimes people in my corporate Aang video are just like, Aang never had help. And I'm like, Aang had help all the
Aang
time.
had
What
to
are you
have like the greatest character in the show come help him, and a bad guy turn good to help him. And I love Aang. He
I
had
do. I
help.
love Aang too.
He
But
had
he
help.
had help.
That's
Korra
part of
also
his
had help.
charm.
Every avatar needs help. Everybody in life needs help.
She didn't need help in her first three elements. We'll give you that. That's
Yeah.
she still needed help. I don't know what else to say.
Um and they're like, all right, we're the new team Avatar. And I like how they get on they get on Naga, and Naga just like, nope, get off of me. I'm not carrying four of you. So anyway, they new team Avatar has a car, which there are some great action scenes here. They're chasing down probably some triple threat triads. If I had to, no, Equalists. They were chasing down some Equalists. Great action scene there with the car and everything. Like if that was the only action scene in this episode, it would be a pretty good action episode. But that wasn't the only action in the episode. Yeah, so they and then they come in conflict with Tarlok, and he's like, "Get out of my way, Korra." And then they meet again. Asami does give like some glances to Mako as he's like being somewhat friendly with Korra, which is that's reasonable, right?
Yeah.
Your boyfriend.
These are young people, also, right? I don't
Yeah.
know how old we're talking about, but I presume in the upper teens or low 20s.
Korra's 17. Mako and Bolin are probably 17 and 16, if I had to guess. And Asami is probably about the same age also.
I think it's real to how young people would behave. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so then comes part of the episode where they hear like, oh, there's Equalists rioting or something, um, or conspiring, and they're like, all right, let's go. And they get there, and no, it's not Equalists, it's just people because Tarlok cut off their power. Oh, also he set a curfew just for non-benders. So there's non-benders out there, and they're peacefully protesting. If this sounds familiar to you, um, your
This one shit
your
gets
ears
real
aren't
right
deceived.
here.
Yeah, there are peaceful protesters protesting that they're not being treated fairly because of their status, and with their power back on. And Tarlok is like, no, in fact, I'm gonna round you all up, even though I'm gonna use some excessive force against you.
It's
Yeah, this is
very literal roundup using some
yeah.
barricades. I, to me it was even so. I'm not trying to take away from your description, which is totally accurate. But you also have to ask yourself, like, all their power went out or something like that, right? Did their
They purposely turned off their power because it was after curfew.
curfew? So like, even taking it a step further is like, yeah, if my power walks out and I hear a commotion outside, I'm probably gonna go outside and see what's
No,
up.
that no, you're right.
So
Because yeah,
it's
when my power, that's what happens. When my power goes out, I go outside, and
is
I'm
everybody
like,
else's
did other
power out?
people's power go out? Yeah. And
And
then
I don't know if it's good or
yeah.
bad. If yours is the only house on the street where the power went out, that usually sounds weird to me. But if everybody's power is out, and then you're like, okay, it's not just me. But I'd go
Oh no,
outside and
I'm
see.
I always feel better when everyone's power's out. I'm like, all right, that's not just me. It's the city. They will fix it.
Right, it's not just my house, bigger. So, like I said, it's like a step further of crazy. It's not even people peaceful protesting. Tarlock just being an asshole.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, sorry, that made it sound
Um,
like other situations are not asshole, but point is, you go outside of your house when your power goes off.
yeah. And I do like how the non-benders are like, look, it's Avatar Korra. And they're like, Avatar Korra, help us. Like, you're our Avatar too. And I do like how Korra is like, I'm going to handle this, even though she doesn't find a solution right there, but she tries. And then Tarlok ends up rounding up her friends in Asami because he's within his means to, and he can say Asami is the daughter of a equalist, and she's out beyond curfew. Like it's an example of people in power abusing their power while still technically staying within the limits of their power. They're not overreaching, which is wrong. Which,
It
always, I mean, this is a statement said oftentimes, like might doesn't make right.
in it. I mean, I think you put it very well. It's like, yeah, it's technically within the confines of what he is able to do. That doesn't still make it okay or even non-abuse. There's still an abuse of that power.
Yeah.
Especially later when he essentially admits to only doing it not even for the reasons that are stated.
Yeah.
I'm jumping ahead a little bit.
We do that. So then Tenzin and Korra goes visit the police station, and I love how there's so many like instances of Korra standing up to power to quote unquote powerful male figures, and she always does this like chin thing when she like she does. She grabs her chin. It's somewhat disrespectful. Like imagine someone went up to you and just was like, "Listen here," and you're just like, "What the heck?" And I think it's Korra strong. Like
I would think they had a nervous tick or something. I was like, I'm going to cut you slack on this first one, but please don't do that again.
um, and he pretty much says like, "You gotta take it up with Councilman Tarlock." So Korra goes home later, and then at night she's like, "You know what? I'm gonna go." She wakes up Naga, which Naga looks like he doesn't want to deal with this stuff.
I'm
Or
really
she,
sorry. I
sorry.
got to step back
Naga's
for one. I got to step back for one comedy. I forgot to interject it. Is that Cora's like, "You're the worst," and then she, like Tenzin like is like, "No, no, calm down. It's fine." And then they turn to leave, and he looks back and is like, "You really are the worst."
Yeah. For some reason, in this moment, I really heard J.K. Simmons' voice in this. It's so good that they got him for Tenzin.
He makes a great Tenzin, and then he does. I mean, it's not totally uncommon for him to like kind of throw a catch you off guard little line there, but just in the midst of a very serious part and coming from Tenzin, like I laughed pretty hard.
Yeah, I'm honestly curious. How the heck did they get J.K. Simmons to do?
Maybe he's a fan of the first one.
Hey, I need to do some research on this now that I think about it, because everyone else, I get it, but maybe he was just like in a lull in his career, and voice acting was just like it's maybe he thought it's I don't know, simpler or whatever, but
maybe he's a fan of the first is my best guess, and it's not even a good guess. I just like guessing that because I like to fantasize about it in my head. Like, yeah, all these very famous, powerful, successful people also watch this cartoon like I do. I watched top 10 like cameo or top 10 voice actors you didn't know were in Avatar or something a week ago, and that's when I asked you if we had ever talked about Lucius Malfoy being Commander Zhao. And you said, yeah, you thought we'd talked about it. So then I went and asked my wife. I was like, no, we didn't. Chris is so wrong. We didn't. And then I went and asked my wife. I was like, hey, do you know that Lucius Malfoy is Commander Zhao in Avatar? She's like, I don't know who Commander Zhao is, but I know that he is in there. And we have had this talk before. And I was like, shit, I'm getting old.
Yeah. See, I forgot where we were. Oh, yeah. So she goes
Naga to go in the middle of the night.
Yeah. So she goes to confront Tarlock. And she ends up like, hey, you need to release my friends. And he's like, no, you came here to. She's pretty much like saying, hey, you can't use your force against people of this city. And it's like, isn't that what you're gonna do it against me? You're gonna come here and use your force, try and get me to release your friends. It's like, that's what I respect about you, Avatar Korra. Which, the more I watch Legend of Korra, the more I listen or I watch or I read like Kyoshi novels, the more I really love those two avatars because they're so similar to each other. And also some of their story elements are similar to each other. Because I feel like Tarlock is a lot like, I think it was his name. Why can't I think of his name? Sean.
John Zhao?
Jianju.
Jianju.
While Jianju wanted to get Avatar Kyoshi like on his side because that will put him in a more position of power. Like Tarlok is doing that exact same thing.
And you kind of got that greater good excuse at your back that maybe they're even convinced that they are doing or working on behalf of, but mostly just
Yeah,
a power thing.
yeah.
That's a good
And
call.
then Korra is pretty much like, no, I'm not working with you. And a lot of people like to get on Korra about this, but this isn't her fault at all. Tarlok's just like, whatever. Now we're gonna fight. Like I thought you could work with you, and then he just goes to fight her, which is an amazing fight that breaks out.
I have one
Um,
qualm, and I think you probably have the same qualm. I hope. Why does
or
she?
maybe I don't.
Why does she punch the icicles? She's a waterbender. Just she literally like she goes out of her way to punch these icicles getting thrown at her, and then one cuts her, and I was like, you know that you can just.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's harder to. I don't have the qualm on it. Maybe 'cause I just love the bending
It's really good
of it.
animation, and it is a really good like intriguing fight. But when I saw that, and I watched it twice because I watched it the other day when I thought we were going to record like a month ago, and then I rewatched it today, and it pissed me off equally. Both I was like, why would you punch the ice? You're a water bender. And then I also just get mad that if I had Korra's ability, there's at least 2 times in this fight where I was like, some real good earth bending, and this would already be over.
But I think she did that, right? Like, so
She did, and it was
Tarlok.
great. But then you just trap him in there so that he is immobilized. Like you
I
just
mean,
wrap him. You know,
she had the fight won to a certain. So
she was
Tarlok starts
monologuing.
off.
She's monologuing.
She was kind of
She
monologuing.
was definitely, and then she went to Firebend. No, and do the Aang when Aang does it to what's his name? God, I can't think of his name. Ozai. That like he has like they can't move their arms. He can't go anywhere. He like what is he gonna do? Melt
I
it
mean,
and
Ozai was already defeated like before that point. Like him getting up, that was like so slow. He was pretty much exhausted from the previous battle. That was easy enough
I'm just saying
to.
I would use that move a lot. And maybe that's why I would be an airbender or an earthbender because I'm very boring and I wouldn't have exciting fights because my go-to move would be like I'm gonna trap him, just gotta put him in a house.
Yeah. But oh, it's a great fight. So he
It
starts
is.
off with the like spear, throwing ice type of deal. Korra does a lot of backflips and stuff, fights through it. And then after a while, she's getting like overwhelmed. She's like, screw it. I'm going to just throw this wall behind him at him. And then, yeah, then she unleashes a bunch of fire
She throws
bending.
up a huge wall of earth in front of her, which is mad respect because that's what I want you to do first.
Yeah.
But then I do love it when she takes the whole wall behind him and starts like crumbling it
Yes.
in and sweeping him and
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah,
bats him off the balcony.
yeah. And then, and then I like how he's on the balcony, right? He has his hand. Aang would have reached out a hand. Korra, nope. Just boom. You're gonna get taken to the floor. And she didn't stop there. Then she did the whole like, which is I love this scene. She just like jumps. It's just a great motion of a fight, and she punches the ground, hits him even more. And I love how she's like, "Am I a half-baked avatar now?" So I love Korra's character development throughout the show, right? She becomes so humble and everything, but I often miss that I'm gonna talk trash to you, Korra. Like I'm gonna beat you up, bad Korra. I wish she would just get a little bit more of that back. I mean, like I said, I love her character development. It's so great, but I
I
do
love it,
miss that
but
just
lock him
spunky.
up first. Incapacitate first and then talk trash. I need the trash talk in my life because I
She
want a snarky avatar. Lock him up first, Cora.
she had the fight won, you know, at a certain, well, I won't say she didn't win the fight, but she had the fight won. But
You
then
know what would have been great for a comedy moment and not this good moment for comedy is like, yeah, when he's hanging there and she goes to reach out a hand, like a wave of Aang comes over her and she reaches and then she just grabs it and throws him off or something like that would be great.
yeah,
A little out of character to go that far, but
yeah. Um,
you're
but
right. I
then
want more snarky Korra Avid. Like I want her to stick into that character, but we can
yeah.
we can commiserate more over that as we go.
And then she's like, "Wait, you're a bloodbender?" but no, she's like, yeah, you're blowing it, but there's no full moon. And then he's like, there's plenty of things you don't know about me. And then something like that. And then he knocks her out. And then he puts her, wraps her in rope. There's always quality rope around somewhere. And then he puts her in the car.
It's hemp rope from
And
Cabbage Corp.
yeah. And again, like Kyoshi, the Breath of Fire deal, like remember in the novel, Kyoshi like through the fire, she breathed, that was the first time fire bending. She breathed fire at her person. There's one person who hasn't read Kyoshi novels that listens to this podcast. I don't want to give too much away about it.
I also don't remember it because I've only read each one of them once. I don't remember names as well as I should, and I am embarrassed. But yeah, she breathes fire.
You can,
What's his name?
Yeah, I listened to the audio book for both. I read them both and listened to the audio book for it. Audiobook's really good.
I need to get to the audiobook. Yeah. Just to support, just to like pay money and be like, please keep doing this.
Yeah. And then Korra, she knocks her out again, and Korra gets a glimpse of the trial of Aang, things in the past, and that's kind of the episode.
There was a glimpse into that earlier when she was flying with Tenzin, and she made some comment about, didn't you hear I'm a spiritual failure? Also, it's like a little foreshadowing to this. She finally does kind of make contact with an Aang memory that the first time you watch it, we know what happens, and most of our listeners probably know what happens, but like the first time you watch it, you're just a little bit like, why? Is there a reason for this memory? Because it doesn't feel like there is, but
I mean, I was ecstatic seeing these flashbacks.
I just remember little being glimpses confused because I'm not very good at like connecting dots, right? Like 2 and 2, fine, but like 2 plus X equals 4, where I can just variables. That's just beyond me. So I just remember being confused. Like, is this important memory or is it just a memory?
Yeah, I don't think it was clear until probably the episode after this one that the dots started to connect.
It does. It jumps up pretty. But
that's not a bad writing thing. That's just that's what it does.
No, it keeps you on your toes. It's cereal. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Cereal with a S, not the delicious kind that I'm hungry for right now. Yeah, cool flashback where they are in the courtroom, right? In the courtroom with, I know it. The heck is his name? I just want to keep calling him the gangster. What the heck is his name?
Dang it, Sean, why can't I think of his name? I'm an avatar.
Our brains aren't in a good place today.
There's no cancel Tarlock. Aang knew how to deal with
organized crime leader, and his name is.
Gosh, I can't think of it.
It's a bad day for names. As soon as one of us says it, the other one's gonna.
Gang, city leaguer. It's something with a cock. And I'm messing with the.
He's a dude. I don't remember what his name is.
Tarlock. Yukon.
Yukon. I knew we'd get there eventually. We're so sorry, fans. It's been a few weeks. People laughing at us. Get your chuckles in. We did it for you.
Yeah. And it did not have a cock in it.
It had a yak in it.
Yeah.
Did just for yaks. I forget. Does this flashback show Yukon?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, so we at least get that far.
You're still not sure what is happening. You don't really see him bloodbending. You just see like Sokka, contorted in a sense.
Sokka get messed up. Poor Sokka. Still looks great though. I'm sorry he's not as funny as Bolin, but he looks great. We have to read. I can't make that statement without all the evidence at my disposal. But yeah, that's the end of the episode.
All right, so ratings. Great episode. Audiovisual gets a 9. The car chase scene itself was really good, but to throw it over the top was the fight between Korra and Councilman Tarlock. Story also gave it a 9. I feel like episode 7 and 8 of Legend of Korra in each season, I think you'll notice a pattern with them. That's always when things really start to pick up, and the story really picks up here. Tarlock gets really interesting. I think the real world, whether they meant it or not, comparisons to real life of like peaceful protesters and um, and cops overusing their power and authority. So that take it to 9. Memorable, gave it 8.5 out of 10. Always loved the fight scene between Korra and Tarlok,
And
which brings it out. Oh, go.
Oh, I said I was gonna apologize. At some point, I got rid of your percentages for a reason that I don't remember. I don't know what that was. It was just like a one episode, and I forgot to put them back in. But remember, Chris's are weighted.
8.9 out of 10.
Solid run.
Oh.
Mine was very close. I did 8.5 on visual, audio visual. I docked a little bit off the fight scene because I was mad at Korra, and I admit that's coming from a place of hurt. Come on, Korra, lock it up. But it's really good. The fight scene is really good. The chase scene is very good. The first half of the episode's maybe not super interesting audio visual, but it's all good. Story is great. And as I mentioned in my hopefully seemingly relevant point from last week, that the Korra gets pretty real. And it's this ties it all together. You kind of get everything in this episode. You get a little comedy, a little feel good, ends on a real crazy note. Like, if you don't want to watch the next episode after watching this episode, you just as well go find a different show, I guess.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Memorable 8.5. That first half of the episode, like a lot of episodes we talk about, it's not like the most interesting takeoff, but it's really good front to start to finish. That'll leave me at 8.7, brings us together to an 8.8. That is a very highly regarded episode as far as Last Podcasters is concerned.
Yep.
I think the nicest compliment I can say is that I've been trying to watch these kind of one at a time or what have you. But when we were thinking about recording a few weeks ago, I watched all the last 4 episodes. Like, I watched 8 through 12 because it was good and I couldn't stop and I kept going.
No.
And then when I rewatched them today, 4 weeks later, I also just rewatched 8 through 12.
Oh,
nice. I know what happened, so I've now seen these episodes like 4 times total. But they're stellar, and I can see why. Before we started, you mentioned repeatedly having such high praise for the second half of season 1 in particular, because it's stellar. What's 12 episodes? So episode 7, 7 through 12, all of them great. Sorry, that's like a spoiler alert for our whole podcast.
Yeah, don't give it away, Sean.
I'm sorry, I meant some of them question mark. I'm terrible at keeping surprises. I don't wrap presents ever except for my wife. That's how I show her that I love her, because I hate wrapping presents. And I had to like wrap them all and hide them up on a shelf in a place where I'd forget about them. Otherwise, I'll just give them to her at some point and be like, I can't wait anymore. That's how bad I am at surprises. And that carries over. But hey, that's been Avatar: The Last Airbender. No, it hasn't. It's been The Legend of Korra. Book 1 Air, Chapter 8, When Extremes Meet. Final thoughts?
Nope. No final thoughts. Go vote. No, I'm kidding.
It's over. You know. Hey, how about this?
It's over.
Continue to do your civic and political duty, not just once. This isn't the Olympics. Like, we live here all the time. So
True.
Continue to
not just every 4 years.
Yeah.
Sometimes not even every 2 years.
Do your civic duties and be a good, engaged citizen year round. That's our takeaway message today. Also, hey, if my audio sounds good or bad, not just like fishing for anything here in particular, but obviously I change things around. Let me know if it sounds weird or good or bad, so I can rectify. Thanks for watching Avatar: The Last Podcasters. Hopefully we will be back next week with a normal episode, but at a minimum we will be back with something. In the meantime, I hope to see some of you tomorrow, Chris, you included, for some Super Smash Brothers, which I have not played since the last time that we played Super Smash Brothers. Well, I should preface this. That sounds like I'm making an excuse to the audience. Audience, listen up to me. I'm going to say this one time, is that I already suck, even on a good day. I'm not making an excuse. It's more like a warning to Chris that it might be a waste of his time. But, yeah, looking forward to it. All right, details in the comments. Thanks for listening. This has been Avatar: The Last Podcasters. That's Chris Ford, a.k.a. The Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter. My name's Sean Shaler. Thank you so much for all of your support and following and whatnot. And we'll see you next week. You have a lot of faith that I'm actually going to mute it, and I didn't. I'm still on. I didn't mute it right. All right, audience. You heard me talking. It's because Chris is making noise. I'm not cutting this out. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks, guys.